Shohei Ohtani is back to doing incredible, historic, unbelievable things. What's up, everybody, and welcome into Bad for Baseball. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, joined alongside Adam Peddle. Well, what else is new? Shohei Ohtani breaking records again. Dodgers looking like the undisputed best team in baseball. They look like the champs, man. No hangover this year, because last year that was the whole thing. This year they are weathered. They've done it before. They're trying to go 3 times over. But before we get to all of them and who is doing well, let's start out with their superstar, Shohei Ohtani. Hey, according to the headline, doing something MLB may never see again. And I think that they are on to something, man. Walk us through what he's doing with the bat and then also what he's doing with the arm.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, first of all, Shohei Ohtani is a unicorn. So to get someone to do what he's doing right now, you might not see for another 100 years, or depending on how baseball develops because of this Shohei Ohtani effect. Maybe there will be more unicorns of baseball in the next decade or so. But point being, Shohei Ohtani currently in MLB has the longest active on-base streak. And fun fact, that beats out the other great Japanese-born superstar, Ichiro Suzuki, for his longest on-base streak in MLB. So he beats his record. And then, at the exact same time, he also has the longest active scoreless earned run streak in MLB currently right now at 28 2/3 innings pitched. So not only is he getting on base, he's not letting anyone cross the plate when he takes the bump in 28 innings. That is incredible stuff, and that's honestly why we're not going to be able to see anyone do that for a long time. How does someone be this good and do this at the exact same time? And I love when you go further in this article. I just wanted to put a little sprinkle here. They say the Dodgers are lucky to have Shohei Ohtani. Anyone in the world would be blessed to be in Shohei Ohtani's presence, let alone have him on his team. If you have this guy playing for your city, you are the luckiest person in the world because you are watching the greatest baseball player of all time right now.
28.23 innings right there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does that go back to the World Series last year?
It would go all the way back to, I want to say the regular season, if I'm not mistaken, because World Series he got beat up, so it'd be regular season.
Well, I'm wondering, because I remember him getting beat up in the World Series as well, but I'm wondering if maybe, I can't remember, were those earned runs? Were those unearned runs?
I'm pretty sure they were, because he gave up a homer. Yeah, so it would go back to the regular season.
So go back to the regular season, I understand. Still, miraculous and incredible stuff there from Shohei Ohtani, just absolute unicorn stuff. And I do think, I know that they're and so are we, honestly, kind of having it or headlining this by saying, we may never see this again. But to your point, I think that we will likely see a lot more individuals do this moving forward, right? This is going to be part of training regimens, learning how to do both things. When somebody gets paid $700 million, there will be other individuals chasing the $700 million. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. We can't imagine it. I imagine in a decade from now, there will be somebody else, maybe not at the same caliber, but
level, right?
But certainly following in the footsteps. Either way, though, he is obviously unbelievable. As you can see, these are all the sabermetrics. You just can look at the standard stats as well and see an OPS over 1 both seasons and then almost over 1 this season. He's literally a walk away from being there. So, Shohei Ohtani once again on pace and starting off the season anyways like an MVP.
Yeah, and then you look over at the pitching stats, and obviously he has 0 ERA because he hasn't let up an earned run, 2 game start, 12 innings pitched, and a whip under 1 at 0.75. I saw this on the broadcast when the Dodgers were in town facing the Blue Jays that Ohtani is, career-wide has a 2.93 ERA, and there it is right there, a 2.93 ERA. And I had to take a moment and think about that. I was like, wow, that's actually really impressive for a guy who obviously on both sides of the ball can do it. How many guys in MLB do you know has a sub-3 career ERA? There's not many, and you never think about Ohtani as the top echelons of pitchers. Like you think about Skeens and Skubal and whatever, and Garrett Crochet. But when this guy's on the bump, he's actually one of the best in terms of career, right?
To put that in perspective, Verlander, Scherzer, Garrett Cole, these are all going to be Hall of Famers. They all have a higher career ERA than that.
Right.
So, I understand that Shohei Ohtani has pitched certainly a lot less innings than them, but still, 540 innings is absolutely nothing to scoff at. Like, that is more than a cup of coffee in the MLB. That is multiple seasons worth right there of full pitching, and he is still having a 2.93 ERA, which, by the way, 40 and 20 win-loss record. I know nobody really cares anymore about win-loss, but when you are 2-timesing your losses, clearly something's going well when you're on the bump.
Yeah, it's incredible, and obviously the stuff's incredible. Throws 100 with ease while he's also up to the dish. Now, the one thing maybe I'll bring up here, and I don't want to totally derail it, I noticed this as well when we were watching the game. Like, he does get a little bit more time to get warmed up on the bump, but like regardless, he looks like he's like giving it his all. He's purely sweating after just like, leading off an inning or being on base. He now has to run to the mound and start warming up. Like, it is actually incredible. And like, you'll see him to begin this, an at bat or an inning when he's just on the base pass. The command's a little bit wayward, and then he like has to lock in. Like, it's a whole other element that he has to deal with right there at the big level.
Nobody else has to do that other than him, right? So he is a freak of nature, just an absolute ridiculous athlete, and one of the reasons why they are 11 and 4, to start the season. They've got off to an incredible start. They've won multiple series. They're plus 35 in run differential.
Yeah.
The offense is humming. The pitching is doing what they do. The LA Dodgers are, in fact, LA Dodgering.
Yeah, and their entire roster is just unbelievable. Obviously, we've talked about Shohei Ohtani. Yamamoto's off to a great start. The rest of their rotation isn't really off to the best start right now, but their offense, like you said, is absolutely humming. They're second in baseball in runs scored, first in average, second in on base, first in OPS, first in home runs, stolen bases. That doesn't matter when you're just hitting yourself around the bases. It doesn't matter. We don't need to steal because we have so much pop. Everyone is locked in right now. One guy that I really want to point out that is slowly emerging and becoming a legit like star in this league needs to be moved up in the batting order, honestly. Andy Pages, 25 years old, young guy. When he first came up, everyone was like, "Oh, you're just a glove. You're an outfielder. You're gonna, because he had a 712 OPS last year. The OPS jumped up 774 because he had 27 homers, and it was like, okay, Pages, we're stepping up a little bit. We're increasing the batting average, increasing the on base, increasing slug, everything. Now this year, he's out of the gates hot. He probably won't be like this all year long, obviously, or else he's winning MVP and beating his teammate Shohei Ohtani. But like, my goodness, like the Sabic metrics don't lie. Like, he looks like he is locked in, and he could be another budding star in this Dodger lineup.
Yeah, what's crazy too? Even if he can, let's just say that he continues doing this, but Ohtani continues doing what he's doing. Ohtani still wins MVP with a
0 ERA. Right, of course.
But you're right. Andy Pages has been ridiculous. I don't expect him to have a 1.1 dot, but I could certainly imagine that the Dodgers end up having just another mid to high 800 OPS guy chilling down there in the lineup. I think it's so difficult, right, for opposing teams when you have to battle through the top 5 in this lineup, and you're looking for anyone in this lineup to actually throw to, right? Like, you wanna attack someone for strikes, and I guess that's Andy Pages. Right. And I guess Andy Pages is destroying them right now. So there's just not a single easy out in this lineup. I mean, maybe Alex Freeland, and that's it.
Yeah, I know. And I look up and down the lineup, and I thought about this. They haven't really developed a good position player since Will Smith back when he first came up 6 years ago. But here's Andy Pages. Adding to mix everyone thinks they add a lot of these great stars, and they do. Freeman, Tucker, Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, obviously big free agent signings. But yeah, Andy Pages could be a legit dude complimenting this core. And yeah, obviously, pitcher staff, we don't really talk much about that. That bullpen is absolutely gross. Look at that bullpen. Obviously, Edwin Diaz with the 6 ERA, don't worry about that. Tanner Scott's off to a great start. Vesia, Trinant, all amazing starts. Klein, however you say his last name. It's amazing. They're great. And of course, the odds reflect that. This is Sports Interaction, Sportsbook and Casino. Dodgers are still obviously the favorites to win the World Series. They'll probably be the favorites as long as they keep winning ball games. If you bet $100, you'll win $295 back. I mean, that's a pretty safe bet, not gonna lie.
Well, what's crazy is I think maybe their odds even went down a little bit since the season started.
For sure.
That's how high everyone was on them walking into the season. I mean, I don't really understand why, because it's hard to do better than 11 and 4 or whatever they are. You're literally 11 and 4. But yeah, I mean, the Dodgers are tiers above everyone else. The only way that this doesn't work out for them is is they either get extremely injured leading up to the playoffs, or they just happen to run into. But even that doesn't work, right? I was going to say they run into the hottest squad ever, but they did that in the World Series, right? And somehow they still it went right till the very bitter end, but they still hung on and they still won, and that's where ultimately the talent just shown through. So Dodgers, amazing. Shohei Ohtani, the greatest player of all time, undeniably. And we are just living in their baseball world, man. Probably another year where we're going to see them going deep and probably hoisting the trophy.
Yeah, I don't even know who can even take them down and what they need. That's the thing. Even we saw the Blue Jays in World Series, they were one of the hottest teams that we've ever seen, and they couldn't even take them down. It's it's just inevitable. So guys, honestly, go to Sports Interaction and bet. Go to any one of your sports books and just start betting, because it's actually inevitable.
It does feel like it's just going to happen again, and we're all going to be kind of just numb a little bit, I think.
Just enjoy the Ohtani legacy.
That's it, man.
We're living in this will be the greatest baseball player of all time.
When it's all said and done, and he hangs it up, he will be the GOAT. But folks, let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. Hit that like, smash that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.